Yo everybody, Pug Nation here. Today I've got gold farms for you. Don't be intimidated by the length of this video. I've broken it down into a bunch of nice little sections. I'm going to throw some annotations at the top. So if you're just here to see that huge crazy looking gold farm that is in the thumbnail, that's fine. I got an annotation for you. But if you're here to learn a little more and see some cool tutorials, stick around and we'll get right into it. Well, the first thing you gotta know is that zombie pigmen, when killed, will occasionally drop gold nuggets. The second thing is that zombie pigmen will spawn occasionally in the overworld, given a nether portal like this one. And bigger is definitely better. In order to increase your odds of having more zombie pigmen spawn, you need to have more purple portal blocks. And back in the day, this is the best you could do when you were limited to the 2x3. You had to do this kind of honeycomb thing, and you would have different layers on the side, and lots of obsidian, and just not very pretty at all. Now, happily, with the new 23x23 portal size, you use much less obsidian to give you actually more portal blocks. So this uses 204 obsidian, and you can see it has less portal blocks than this one, which only uses 88 obsidian and is much more efficient, of course. So this one also has the advantage that you can do like multiple slices. So this is actually three 23x23 portals, and you can see the spawn rates are pretty good. These zombie pigmen, I think a couple of them have spawned in since I started talking. So one of the key issues, of course, is how do you get your zombie pigmen out of the spawner and into a place where you can collect and kill them? These guys, unless they push each other off, which occasionally they do, they're just going to stand there forever, and they're going to be totally safe, and that's completely worthless. If this is your spawner, they're not going anywhere. They're stuck in your spawner. These guys, though, if you give them a trap door and open it up, occasionally they will see this as a valid path to go. Yep, and there you go, right there. You saw it on camera. So occasionally they will try to walk over to this area right here, and they see this trapdoor as a valid way to do that, and they will walk through it. But because it's open, you'll see just like that, they fall right through. And now all there is to do is put a water path there, and you can collect them and find a way to kill them. Probably the simplest way to kill these guys is just simply to have your trap up high enough, and the fall will kill them instantly, and they'll die on this hopper, so their drops will very conveniently be funneled into this chest. And my personal favorite way to do it is a little funky. It's using this clock to crush them. Very, very nifty design. Uses a very simple redstone clock. You start out with a shape like that. Repeater going into this block with a delay of 2 redstone dust there and there with a torch. This thing is loud, it is annoying, that's why I have the video muted, because otherwise, yeah, you're just going to hear these pistons firing constantly. So just have these sticky pistons facing in here. I have 2 because you need this one on the bottom to kill the baby zombie pigmen, which will also spawn and will clog up your trap. So this is my favorite way to kill them. You just have a crusher here, and this has the added advantage of you don't need this to be super high up. You could just have a very small drop, actually. And there you go. Super convenient. So the simplest, most efficient, and most economical way to have a decent gold spawner is to use just a simple 23x23 nether portal. This uses a grand total of 88 obsidian, and you just need to give these guys a platform which they can walk onto 1 block away from the obsidian portal, and then every couple blocks or so, doesn't need to be exact, just put an open trap door. This will give these zombie pigmen available paths to walk to this path here. However, because the trapdoors are open, as you just saw, they will fall through. So now we just need to put in our water collection unit. So I like to start the water collection with the source block being 3 blocks underneath the obsidian portal. That just ensures that as they're bobbing up and down, they don't run into this trapdoor, which will slow things down a little bit. So yes, source block, 3 blocks underneath the portal. And now simply just put 8 blocks long, and I haven't been counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks good. And make these 2 high. This doesn't have to be glass, of course, but I like it. I like being able to see my zombie pigmen on their way to certain and gruesome doom. And let me just make sure I did this right. Whoop. Put in a water bucket right there, and it should stop just short of the edge. Perfect. And now do the same thing here on the other side. So 1, 2, 3. Want your source block right there. Get rid of that. And I'll just make this glass, of course, so you can see your zombie pigmen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And wall this off again. Has to be too tall, otherwise your zombie pigmen can actually escape. No escapees for this gold trap. No, sir. Certain doom. Certain doom. And just finishing this up. Now you just need to have this drop down one more level like this. And have them meet in the middle. There we go. And now this is where they're going to fall straight down into our crusher. Again, you need to have 2 blocks here. And in order to stop the water, you need to put a sign just like that, and I'll show you why here. So let me just continue to wall this off so that I don't have water pouring everywhere. Very important. And again, too tall, because otherwise your zombie pigmen are going to be able to escape, and we don't want any of that. And okay, so we put our source bucket there, and this sign is going to stop it from pouring out all over the place. Same thing here, and same thing here. So when the zombie pigmen fall out of the portal, they're going to land right here and be slowly and inexorably transported to their doom. And let's just put the crusher in, guys, and that's it. So putting our crusher in from the concept section leads us with this, the simplest, most economical gold farm. And this thing, for a cost of only 88 obsidian, gives pretty decent yields. I was getting 30 nuggets per hour in my time trials. For an AFK farm, for as simple and cheap as this is, that ain't bad, folks. But now let's ramp it up a little bit and get some better yields. 5 of these 23 by 23 portals, one next to another like this, is a pretty good way to increase your yields. You can just go ahead and light these up like so. I gotta be careful that I don't actually fly into the portal because I'll go to the nether right away. And I just have the trapdoors on both sides of it, so they have 2 options to escape. And 2 of the same water channels that I had over in the simplest build, and this little area here to funnel them into my crusher. Super simple, guys, and it's pretty easy to just add on to design number 1. As you get more obsidian, add another layer. This thing is the ridiculous, stupid big 50 23 by 23 portal gold farm. Uses a whopping 3,825 obsidian, or roughly 60 stacks, to produce approximately 870 gold nuggets per hour. And no, I am not doing a tutorial on how to build this thing, but it's easy to extrapolate using the concepts I explained earlier in the video. Go back and check those out if you skipped to this part. But it's basically the 5 wide 23 by 23 portal tube that I showed you earlier. It's 5 of those next to each other, and then I just connect 2 by 2 side by side, and it uses a nifty little water channel to transport everything into this one little crusher trap. And it uses a neat little trick here to transport items on the same, or rather mobs on the same level without having to drop down a level every single time. Normally with water channels, every time you go 8 blocks, you need to drop 1 level. If you'd like to see a little short tutorial on how to do that, leave a comment and I'll get straight on with it. But yeah, guys, look at this thing. Once it warms up, once it gets going, it is crazy how many zombie pigmen are going to be pouring out of this thing. It's really, really not survivor friendly at all. Of course, given that crazy, crazy obsidian design. And unfortunately, in 1.8, most people's obsidian farms got broken, which is very, very unfortunate. It makes things like this even harder to build. But you can kind of work towards it, you know, here and there, put another 88 obsidian into it to put another 23 by 23 portal into it, and slowly over time you can kind of work your way up to it. Now, I would not advise putting more than 5 of these next to each other. simply because it takes a really long time for the zombie pigmen in these portals to find their way to these water channels if you put more than 5. You kind of get to a point of diminishing returns with how many portals you put in versus how many nuggets you get. For instance, this guy right here, the simple 1 portal, in my time trials, it gave me 30 per minute. 30 gold nuggets per minute, that is. This guy right here, which is a tube which uses 5 23 by 23, gave me 114 nuggets per hour. And this guy, like I said, gave me 870 gold nuggets per hour. So you really don't get a linear progression. If you got 30 nuggets for every 23 by 23 frame in, then you would expect to get 150 here instead of 114, and you would get even more still here. But the reason you get that loss is because it takes them so much longer to find their way to the edge. So eventually, yeah, you get to a point of diminishing returns, and it's not really worth putting any more in. And yeah, I could go into MC Edit and add another 50 right on top of this, and it would work fine. My computer would probably explode, but then I could say I have 100 portals and that I have the world's biggest gold farm. But honestly, why? Why would I do that? It's just ridiculous. After a point, it's like, too much, too much, too much. But it is really fun to stand here and watch these dudes fall into this thing once it gets warmed up. If you fly too far away, everybody stops moving. That's another thing. If you go too far away, all the mobs will stop moving. So you can't make this infinitely long, because the guys that are really far away from you, the portals that are really far away from you, they won't be moving. They might be spawning if they're within 128 blocks from you, but it's not really useful if they're not moving to the edge and getting sucked down here to my kill. It is pretty sweet watching these guys, though. I could watch this all day. But anyways, yeah, if I was in survival mode and like on my server and I was going to make a gold farm, I would start with this guy right here. And then slowly over time, I would just add additional 23 by 23 portals, maybe till I got this big. Maybe eventually add in another tube. And over time, you can kind of work at this thing. But anyways, guys, I'm out of steam. That's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Woo, look at all these dudes. Look at all these dudes. This is great. Thank you so much for watching. Excuse me. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you like this video and you would like to see more like it. Leave your suggestions below. Check out my Let's Play. Check out my Redstone in 3 or less tutorial series. Pug Nation here. I will see you all very soon.